day 5 and I have not received no food stamps. My disability checks is on hold. My cash benefits is not coming no more. They're still pending. It is the taxpayer's job to pay for my kids to eat and for my kids to be taken care of. I have over 2,000 followers on TikTok and I can't get not one person to send me 50 cents. If you're watching this video and you can't send me nothing, I'm blocking you. I'm fucking blocking you. 50 cents. My kids have not ate in 5 days. It is the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of my kids.
This part of his big, beautiful bill, or whatever he calls it. But, you know, I'm all for seeing people like this get their benefits cut because they take advantage of it. And they like, I mean, listen to her talk. Entitlement. Like, it's somebody else's responsibility to take care of the children that you decided to have. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I remember talking with this girl who was a Jamaican immigrant getting benefits. She was at Walmart. She had a cart full of groceries, you know, a bunch of unhealthy food, but still a cart full of groceries that you and I were paying for. And she was talking about having a child with a boyfriend who was unemployed. And she was just saying it, just sneering and jeering, like, I'm taking advantage of the system, and the system is going to help me live in the projects forever. Go figure. But nonetheless, I'm glad to see, with people being veterans and people being disabled and not able-bodied and not young, not capable of going out and getting a job, that's who the benefits are for. But someone like this, and I like what he's doing, making benefits available to them for, like, I think it's a 2-year cutoff. I don't have a problem giving you 2 years. That's enough time to realize that this is going to end, and I can't just live off the, like during the pandemic when they was giving, or at least I could say I was getting, I think $972 a month and for 16 weeks, and around week 8, and what I was doing was I was keeping 500. Saving 472. I did that the entire time. But when it got around week 10, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I need to go get a job now. Timed it perfectly and ended up stepping right into employment after the pandemic was over, after they was giving away them free stimulus checks. Hopefully, with this 2-year cutoff, you know, after like 18 months or so, they'll be like, okay, I need to really seriously crack down. And they should have been doing it the whole entire 18 months. But once 18 months hit, you better know it's over with. You better know it. Because it's going to be over with. All that stuff, it just, time is going to get here no matter what. So prepare for it. And that's why I put up the black screen so you can hear the voice and get the demographic of the person. This is an African American female about in her 30s, look like.
Yeah, see right here? This is a seafood board bag on food stamps on EBT. Yes, we use food stamps over there. Look at that. Get that seafood board bag, son. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. And we got another seafood board over here getting prepped up, ready. Prepping this one, getting it ready. Seafood board bag on food stamps from the government. We don't care. 7 kids. Yes, we finna feed 7 kids. Everybody getting their own seafood board bag today. This is a beautiful Saturday. My kids finna eat good. Yes, we're not worried about no baby daddies. We ain't worried about no drama today. But like I said, we're going to continue to get these 3K EBT for stuff like this. See that seafood board bag? Yeah, we don't pay cash, baby. We don't pay cash. All right. So, come in this EBT Queen Kitchen. We do seafood bags. Seafood bags on EBT. That's how we do it. Look at that. Corn, potatoes, shrimp, eggs, anything you name it, crabs in there, all kind of stuff. So, yeah, period. We don't play over here.
Now, this is a hood female. I'm sure you could tell African American about. Again, in her 30s, feeding the kids. You know, and, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if this government cracked down on these benefits. I'm almost positive it stems from videos like this being on the internet talking about what you get off the government for free, and like you're flexing being on government assistance with all these kids who don't have fathers in their lives. These people have done this to themselves. You don't think that people in government watch these videos and see this stuff and see the demographic and see where their taxpayer money's going, and you flaunting it? That's why they taking it away.
Trump has cut my food stamps from $2,800 down to $350. Now, what am I supposed to do? So I literally just got this piece of mail today saying that due to new policy changes from the Trump administration, all this shit, whatever, all these cuts and whatever he's doing over there, now they're telling me I have to go work. Now I have to go do all this. Well, I literally got 5 kids. Okay. I'm trying to sit here and spend time with them. I'm not trying to go work, 50, 60 hours a week so I can pay bills. I just really don't understand. I voted for him this last election because I thought what he had good was going on, but now all of a sudden, all this policy stuff's coming out, and now he's making all these cuts, and now he doesn't want to help the less fortunate people no more. I'm done with that guy. I'm not. If he gets voted in again, I'm leaving this country. Because I'm not dealing with this no more. This is all shit.
I forgot to mention that female with the seafood bag. She's probably selling them things too on the side. Now, if you hear this person here that just got finished speaking, he's Caucasian, male, about late 30s, early 40s. Sir, if you're on government assistance, you're poor. And when you're poor, you can't just pack up and leave your country and go to another country and set up shop and think that they're going to take care of you like they do in the United States. This is the only country, I said it in the video the other day, the only country that prioritizes foreigners. So if you go to some other country, you, sir, are going to be a foreigner, and they're not going to prioritize you. If you want dual citizenship, they got to make sure that you got money so you're not living off the government before they even accept you over there. And how you don't got the means to get over there, so this crap about you, talking about you leaving, you ain't going nowhere. You can't go nowhere. Where you gonna go? But anyway, I was surprised when I found this video of somebody talking like this. Usually it's a woman, an African-American woman. Usually don't be no Caucasian man talking like this. That's why I'm glad I found this, and hopefully he was able to pinpoint, and it surprised you a little bit when you didn't hear Pookie or Riri talking about benefits getting cut. And that's the thing, they've made this into they've made FBA's the face of, the poster child for government assistance. Like a government recipient, you think of an African American, poverty stricken looking. That's what you think of. And that was by design, by the way.
That don't everybody know. That ain't how that work. Cause I'm at work. I'm in school. I'm doing the best I can. I need my food stamps. But if they take it away, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to make ends meet. It ain't gonna stop nothing.
She's basically saying the price of Yami is gonna go up if she's got to do whatever she's got to do. I mean, you could just hear it in her voice that's what she gonna say that on the internet, but that's what she plans on doing. That's what just about every woman has the ability to do, whether they've done it or not. That's an individual decision for every woman, but every woman is aware that she can do that. They all know that if push comes to shove, they can show a little leg and they can get some cash for it. There'll be somebody starving enough to pay for it. So that's what she'll go to doing. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of that going. There's a lot of that goes on anyway. They, sell a little Yami, get a quick $40 to $100. She didn't pay her rent for the month. That's what they do.
People frequently claim that immigrants and poor black families are living off the system. They're on welfare. They're mooching. But here is the truth. The majority of people on public assistance in the United States of America are white, and most of them have jobs. Welfare was created for white people. I knew that it was created during the New Deal, so I did some more research because I didn't really know the whole story, and I thank you guys for responding and helping me learn stuff. So during the Great Depression is when we saw the beginning of things like Social Security, unemployment insurance. But here's the kicker. When Franklin Roosevelt built those programs, he had to make deals with Southern Democrats in Congress, the same folks who were big fans of Jim Crow, to get the support of these racist white Southern politicians. The programs were designed to exclude farm workers, domestic workers, jobs held overwhelmingly by Black, Latino, and Indigenous people. So right from the start, Black and brown families were pushed out of benefits so that white people could get them. Then we move forward to the 1960s, and there's this war on poverty. It finally opened up welfare programs more broadly, and that's when food stamps became permanent. Well, permanent, we don't know what Trump's going to do to them, but they lasted a long time. And guess what? The minute more Black and brown families started accessing this help, the politics shifted. Welfare got a new image and a new target. By the 1980s and 90s, with Ronald Reagan and his gang, they pushed the welfare queen myth. That's a racist dog whistle meant to turn public opinion against safety nets by blaming Black women for poverty that white policies created. That's the truth, you guys. I've never owned anyone. My neighbors, as far as I know, have never been owned by anyone. But the people who say we don't owe any reparations for the Civil War are ignoring something really huge. Or maybe they just don't know. Some people already got reparations. White people. White enslavers were paid for losing their human property. The actual people who were raped, tortured, whipped, and sold, and worse, were promised land to get a fresh start after the war, but they got nothing. When slavery was abolished, Congress paid nearly $1 million, which is 30 million in today's bucks, to white enslavers as compensation for losing their property in a war they lost. If a freed person didn't hit the road fast enough, they risked being re-enslaved under new laws that were just workarounds for all these white people losing their slaves. After the Civil War ended, Union General Sherman set aside 400,000 acres of confiscated Confederate land for Black families to start new lives on, up to 40 acres each. The Army loaned out mules to help them work the land. That's where the phrase 40 acres and a mule comes from. Black people were already working some of this land when Lincoln was assassinated and Andrew Johnson became president. Well, Johnson reversed the order. He gave the land back to the same Confederates who had just tried to destroy the country. The freed people were evicted. So they made all these things into crimes that were non-crimes. They were things like, if a Black person didn't have a job, that was a crime. If a Black person couldn't prove that they had a job, that was a crime. You could get arrested for that and a lot of other ridiculous things. But once you were in jail, you could be leased out as labor for private profit. This system of convict leasing allowed white landowners and businesses to replace slavery with something just as violent, just as profitable as slavery. No wonder there are still Confederate flags all across the South. Even after slavery was abolished, Black Americans were not safe. Public lynchings became a regular threat. They were a form of terror used to keep free people in their place. They were planned events announced in advance so everybody could attend. They were held in broad daylight. White families brought their children to watch black people being hanged, tortured, brutally murdered. It was a festival. People sold food. There were postcards made. People could buy postcards of the mutilated bodies hanging from trees and mail them in the mail or keep them as souvenirs. This country took care of Civil War criminals and punished the ones the war was supposed to free. And there was a lot more abuse I just can't fit into this video.
And see, now, that's why I used her, because everything that woman said, and she was a Caucasian woman in her 50s, kind of looked like Hammer and Hank Goldberg from ESPN. He used to come, I used to like betting sports and stuff. I used to watch ESPN to get the Hammer and Hank, what he thought his picks were going to be for the weekend. She kind of looked like him. But I wanted y'all to hear that kind of stuff. I knew everything she said. I already knew it. I knew it already. But I wasn't going to tell you. In order for that, not that it shouldn't have credibility, more so when she says it, but I knew it would. And more people like her need to be speaking out. You know, I'm telling you that the country needs to pay reparations in order to go forward. You can't have debt and be like, okay. Once you pay a debt off, you do feel refreshed and you can go forward and move forward. You have a new perspective on things. But you owe the money. That's why you pay it.